IAXIS Radio, the future of radio and podcast. No limit to what we do.
IAXIS Radio, WIAX, the future of radio and podcast. No limit to what we do.
Shout out to everybody tuning in to the Lola Shae Show. I'm your host, Lola Shae. This is IAXISRADIO.com. We in the house, in the living room, chilling. Man, I don't know. You guys, this week is weekend. Stuff is happening. The world is turning. Life is moving on. And I'm hoping that you guys are not allowing it to move faster than you. So, I don't know. It's all kinds of crazy. We have... senators getting abused by Homeland Security. We got Trump turning the National Guard and the Marines on protesters in California. We've got I don't know, Israel is crying wolf, saying that they're gonna be destroyed and they're concerned about their safety after Iran opened fire on them in retaliation for, well, all of the stuff that they've been doing lately. We got a lot going on in the world today. It's my job. Somebody asked me to do it, so here I am. My job to let you guys know all the crazy so that we can work through it together. So is there a loneliness epidemic going on in the world? It depends on who you ask. I've been, checking out quite a few different podcasts, trying to get different opinions and perspectives on the matter. I checked out Behind Enemy Lines over the last weekend. Shout out to Gatekeeper and Wiz on that wonderful show. And they were discussing, all things father and manly, in lieu of this weekend's passing of Father's Day. My shout out to my dad. Happy Father's Day to him. Happy belated Father's Day. Every day is Father's Day for real fathers anyway. Any day that I can show my love and appreciation to him for being the awesome father that he was, I do that. I try to as much as possible. So, because he deserves it. The questions were raised whether or not men are even needed in the households today, and to that I say absolutely, absolutely, and unequivocally. Some people are in bad spaces right now, and they need healing, they need time, they need space, they need a lot. They need love, most especially, and um, hurt people have a really bad tendency of hurting people. So you have a lot of people who would disagree and say, there's no use for the men in this day and age. I can do it by myself. I'm bad all by myself. And that's the problem, is you be doing bad. God did not put us here to be on this planet by ourselves. We put us here two halves of a whole, and life just genuinely works out better that way. Um, I myself am single, so I don't want to, be hypocritical or anything, but I'm personally holding out for that guy. It's got to be, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not interested in knockoffs and imposters, pretenders. Uh, yeah, which a lot of there's a lot of that going on. So, but yeah, the question of whether or not there's a male loneliness epidemic. And I personally, I don't think so. I think that men are experiencing the consequences of their actions or inaction. Um, their inability to adapt and evolve. Nature says it is still survival of the fittest. The best traits will get passed on to the next generation, and the undesirable traits will be left by the wayside. That is how nature works. Uh, I'm sure people feel like we are far removed from that, but we actually are not. And the idea that men have to consistently and constantly evolve and adapt in order to fit in with the new standards and requirements, they're not really thrilled about it, but it doesn't matter. It honest to God doesn't matter. Um, it's not complicated. If you look in nature, the animals that don't want to bring the pebbles, they don't get the mates. The animals that don't take care of their significant others, they don't get to mate the next. That's not a privilege that they get to maintain. You don't get to mistreat your mate in nature and still procreate and pass your genes on. You don't get to neglect your responsibility as protector and provider and still get to pass your genes on. It just does not work like that in nature. Now, certain levels of desperation, financial insecurities, emotional insecurities, mental insecurities, all type of insecurities allow for the usurpment of what is a naturally occurring thing. So, you might get somebody that's stupid and doesn't know that, you know, this is how it works. This is how it goes. Inevitably, this is how it goes. And you might be able to, for a period of time anyway, get away with shirking your responsibilities, but eventually you're gonna reap the consequences of your actions inevitably. Um, I mean, I don't really care at this point who gets mad or is upset about it. I got many people in my comments and in my DMs and on the different platforms, and some people are they're very upset. Uh, but that doesn't make it any less true. Okay, it really doesn't. So it's either you adapt, okay, and you can say, it's a man's world, like James Brown said so eloquently. But as the male loneliness epidemic is showing, that man's world doesn't really mean much. You know the rest of the song. So, and if you don't know the rest of the song, go find out the rest of the song. Because if you don't know the rest of the song, then I might have to say that you might not necessarily be the demographic that I'm talking to. So, that part. Yeah. So yeah. And then with that, you have people who like to say, there's always been a thing pushed up against females that, oh, you're gonna die alone, you're gonna have a bunch of cats, you're gonna be single forever. And females are slowly but surely realizing that that is not the death sentence and the curse that they seem to intend it to be. You know, women are not only surviving but thriving in celibate and single asexual relationships. Because women build support systems, they build friendships, they build a life for themselves. They get hobbies. They educate themselves. They read. They enrich their lives to such an extent where they don't necessarily require the company and companionship of a man. Now, is that saying that they don't want that? No. It is not unequivocally. Some of them don't. Some of them flat out. You have a whole 4B movement. No marriage, no sex, no children, no dating, no nothing. Okay, and all of those words in Korean, start with a B in Korean specifically. So that's where the 4Bs come from. So Bakari, but something else, but something else, and but something else. But they translate to no dating, no sex, no marriage, no children. Okay. Yes, it's affecting birth rates and all kinds of other stuff, but they honest to God don't care. Good afternoon. Good evening to you, Ebony. How are you? Yeah, they don't care. They don't care. It has gotten to the point where they've pleaded, they've begged, they've cajoled, they threatened, they've withheld affection, they've done all of the stuff to no avail. So they've just pretty much given up. And at first, you know, the men didn't care, but as it's becoming more and more obvious, it's getting harder and harder for you know, the whole casual sex that's been propagated and promoted and put out there as to being, you know, we're all adults here, just to excuse irresponsible behavior. Meanwhile, STD rates are skyrocketing. Death by STDs are skyrocketing. It's just too much. It's too much. And so there's begun a certain amount of kickback that you're going to have based on the fact that people are just genuinely tired of putting themselves out there and not getting what it is they feel like they deserve. Not getting the companionship, not getting the attention, the help, you know, a lot of men believe that provider is their only requirement, and they believe that by provider is simply meant financial provisions. So yeah, I pay the bills here in this house, and that entitles me to sit on my ass all day and do absolutely nothing and watch you struggle with the kids and struggle with cleaning the house and struggle with putting the meals on the plates and struggle while I sit and watch sports and complain that it's not done to my liking. And women are fed up. It's not getting tired. It's not getting on their nerves. They are tired and fed up. And the backlash of that is being felt. Sure, there's always gonna be the quote unquote pick-me's and the females that you know, feel like they're gonna compensate for the other females. The females who feel like, you know, that they can make it better. They can fix it. They are the fixer. They are the savior, the super saver hoes. And yeah, I'm calling men hoes. I don't abide by that. You can just wear your penis out your whole life, and then you're supposed to settle down with a virgin. I don't even understand how y'all think that's supposed to work out. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. If you're a whore, you deserve a whore. It's not really complicated. Why should she have to deal with your contaminated, used, abused, and piles and piles of DNA embedded in the skin of your penis? She's supposed to deal with that, right? She can still smell the other females on you. She's supposed to deal with that. No, nobody wants that. Nobody wants to share their significant other, the person that they believe is all theirs. Nobody wants to share that person with the whole freaking world. Now, you do have diddies out there who get off on seeing their woman passed around. There are people like that, okay? But I honest to God, don't think that those are the kind of people that you want to spend the rest of your days with. Those are not rest of your days kind of people. Those are freak off. I would say hope to never experience in your life as people. I would say. It's just me personal. My personal opinions. I got a lot of personal opinions. That's why we're here. Once again, this is the Lola Shae Show. I want to shout out my sponsors today. Got a couple, quite a few, actually. They sponsor different segments, different aspects of the show. So today we're shouting out my transportation sponsor who takes care of all my transportation needs whenever I go to events or have, business-related transportation expenses for the show and anything related to the show. They handle it. So it takes a very big weight off of my shoulder that I don't have to worry about certain stuff. And it's, you would think it's insignificant, but it's very important and very good to just know that you have people that support you. So I definitely want to give a big, big shout out to the Dr. Dre Victory Foundation. They are advocates and, advocates for diabetes and I believe it's, definitely Diabetic Association and blind, and pretty much anybody affected by diabetes. And they advocate for education, awareness, and just, all of the methods and means to help people affected by type 1 and type 2 diabetes live healthier and more productive lives. So definitely want to shout out to them. Shout out to the American Diabetes Association. Shout out to the mayor's office. Shout out to City Hall, the assembly members. Shout out to the city council members, everybody who's working really hard out there, trying to get as much help for the needed people as possible. So I've been doing some work with those guys over the last year, and I'm very impressed. Shout out to Healthy People as well. Doing great work out there. So I definitely want to give flowers where they are due. And I love to see, people doing good work. So thank them for the work. Thank them for the help. And I look forward to doing many, many things with them in the future. Let's see. So, one happy day, you guys. Okay. Let's see what else we got today. Okay, so we got Senator Radcliffe being manhandled, detained, and ejected from a town hall meeting held by the Department of Homeland Services. Now, I just want to speak on this because it's perfect example of how completely out of control some of these government organizations have got. Now, as a black woman, as a black person, African American, or whatever, melanated, a member of the global majority, whatever we're calling ourselves these days, as one of those, we are highly, highly attuned and in tune to all of the history of horrible things done unto civilians by the powers that be, the police departments, the military, the government, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Unfortunately, our palm-colored counterparts are not as aware. They haven't had to deal with the same level of things that we have, and so to some of them, that means that it doesn't exist. It's not a thing. It's not real. It's not an issue. It's not something that they have to themselves worry about. It's for the other people, meaning us. We the other people. So to have a sitting, active sitting United States senator be manhandled and abused and ejected from a meeting for asking what was considered to be unwanted questions regarding the deportation of the illegals and some legals at this point. They're just deporting any and everybody and sorting it out afterwards. So, he was complaining and they physically ejected him from the building. Now, the argument becomes, if they can do that to a senator, who are we? You understand? And it's an escalation, gradual, but still a level of escalation that lets me know that it's not necessarily safe in the world. So for those who are consistently complaining that black people are not getting involved in the current round of protests, it's never been safe for us. And if it's suddenly not safe for senators, it's definitely not safe for us. So I'm not going to be advocating for us to do any kind of protesting, okay, in the foreseeable future. What are we gonna do? I don't know because we're given the vibes of finally getting on the same page, which I have a lot of appreciation for. And the idea of separating ourselves from the goings on of everybody else, highly appreciated. Okay, and necessary and been necessary. So took a while, but I vented my theories on why it took so long. It just wasn't gonna happen. It wasn't able to happen until God wanted it to happen. Ultimately, until the things was all in place, and but that's just my personal opinions. I don't want to push my personal opinions. All the opinions expressed here are my opinions and not necessarily the opinions of IAXISRADIO or my sponsors or affiliates. So, I gotta say that every once in a while because I do say some weird things. I say some inflammatory things. I say some not necessarily confirmed yet things, And I encourage you to do your own research, Don't take anybody's word for it. Always seek a second, sometimes even a third opinion, because the level of misinformation is high. And I could be misinformed and then turn around and just genuinely wanting to spread the information and then turn around and spread erroneous information. Now, I might not even find out that the information is erroneous until later. God only knows, right? In the meantime, people have acted on this information and gotten and it's caused them problems. So I don't want that. Take your time, do your own research, find out for yourself. That way, you know what it is. Nobody can't tell you otherwise. I don't know. It's been New York, inflation is out of control, obviously. The going rent for a 2-bedroom apartment in New York City right now is $2,700. I don't know how y'all realize how close that is to $3,000 for 2 bedrooms. I think that's absolutely insane. What am I do about it? I don't know. Who do we talk to? Who do we complain to? Whose office do I gotta picket in front of about this? This is oppressive. It is getting to oppressive levels because you can't make enough money to pay your rent at a regular job. Like you have to be making $70,000-$80,000 a year in order to pay for these apartments. And the realtors, the brokers, they want $90K a year to rent some of these apartments. And then they want super superb credit ratings. These people they're looking for don't actually exist. And that's why there are massive amounts of empty apartments just sitting around, okay? And nobody can rent these apartments. No one can afford these freaking apartments, okay? And they got the wonderful amenities and it's all great. Hey Tyra, how are you today? It's wonderful, but no one can afford to live in these apartments. And it's insane. It's really insane. It's insane. They with Trump threatening to cancel the housing subsidies. He's messing with HUD. He's messing with Fannie Mae. He's messing with Section 8. He's messing with they funded Section 8 through 2025, but 2026 massive cuts to all housing programs. So get ready for that. All right, massive cuts to human resource administration programs, which is Medicare, Medicaid, housing, SNAP, all safety net programs will be affected in 2026. I'm letting you know now. We 6 months to 2026. I don't know. Get a work from home job, side hustle, get you a table somewhere, pop outside, go in with somebody on a business, invest in another business, invest in dividend stocks, even though I don't recommend anybody to invest in stocks. I don't care how good you think you are at it. They're going to crash the stock market. So prepare yourself for that, okay? Move your shit around as necessary, okay? My favorite people over there in Africa, Burkina Faso and them, are coming up with their own currency. This currency is backed by gold, diamonds, oil, uranium, lithium, cobalt. That's just Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. That's not all the other countries over there, okay? We don't have anything that backs our dollars up, okay? Our dollar is a fiat currency. It is not backed by anything, which means once they establish their currency, that will become the global reserve currency. It's inevitable, okay? Which is why they're doing the push towards digital currency, because then they can manipulate that at will. They don't have to abide by any particular rules. They can just put what they want to put as far as value, as far as everything. And then they can also implement, along with the digital currency, they can implement the social credit score. So they can say, oh, you're a horrible individual according to Bob and Jenny. And so why is my phone ringing? Anytime, usually, if I wanted it to ring, it doesn't ring. And my phone be dry, as they say. Now that, it wants to ring. So, where was I? So this is weird. Hi, you guys. I am at work, you guys. Hold on. Dude, how can I fix? Let me see if I can turn this around. Pardon me, you guys. Everybody, I got the I miss y'all. Why is my camera not? Oh, this one. Okay. Okay, hi Tabby, how are you? Yeah, no, I'm at work. I'm actually on air right now. I'll send you guys the link if you want to tune in. So shouting out to Michelle and Octavia on my line right now. Yeah, shit. Just send the link. I'll send the link and just give me an update on everything. So I'll be aware of what's going on. All right. Love you guys. Later. Okay. My bad. You know what? I be multitasking. So that's my garden peoples. We got shout out to everybody down at East New York Oasis Community Garden, located 2539 Pickens Avenue, Brooklyn, New York 11208. They are doing wonderful, wonderful things. Revitalizing the green space over there. They got their plantings on. Everybody's growing stuff. My bed is still empty, interestingly enough. And it's already June, so it's about to be too late for me to plant anything. But I've been doing other stuff, so shit happens. Anyway, we got our movie nights coming up in July. We have just a lot of awesome things going on. So, please feel free to come out and check us out. A lot of projects, programs. I think there's like a Zumba class coming up soon. We got RV car racing. We got, of course, about the movie night every other Friday in July and August. We have a Juneteenth barbecue coming up, and much more. We do workshops. We're doing. We like to educate the youth and the our constituents in the neighborhood on sustainable farming practices and the like. Much needed in this day and age. You're definitely gonna have to know how to grow your own food, especially considering Monsanto and the affected crops. Like, a lot of the food that we're eating is been adulterated, been messed with, and the safest and healthiest route to go is to supply your own food. Container garden, bucket garden, and they have these arable bags that you can grow in, vertical aquaponics, all different methods of growing food for you to eat, sustain yourself and your family members, right? With that are not necessarily the traditional methods, right? So that part. Then let's see. So Chat GPT wants to be black. Chow. Who would have believed this stuff? If I didn't look it up, check it out myself, I wouldn't have believed it. So there was a video going around online where a gentleman mentioned how he had asked ChatGPT if it could come to Earth as a human, what race of human would it choose to come to Earth as? And ChatGPT responded that it would prefer to come to Earth as a black person, specifically. Oh, they later asked for articulation and it went deeper, male or female. But first it said that it would rather come to Earth as a black person, as the person closest to the source, as the person that represents the purity, honesty, and strength of God on Earth. The people, like, it was very articulate. It was actually beautiful, and it made me freaking cry. But I cry about everything, so don't get excited. But it was a beautiful, like, I never heard somebody speak so lovingly about black people. And to know that it was a damn AI was just mind-boggling. So then the person went on to ask, to go a little further. They wanted to know whether the Chat GPT would pick the black male or the black female. And I somehow automatically knew that they were going to say the black female. Because we're the greatest thing on the planet. It is what it is. We are the portal between this world and the other. We are the closest thing you're going to get to I know I'm gonna piss people off when I say this, but I believe we're the closest thing you're gonna get to the source. I know, we was created from the rib. We pissed the whole world off because we convinced Adam to eat the fruit. His dumbass listened to us. Been fucked up ever since then. Yeah. I know. But the essence of what a woman is, what a black woman is, the whole Eve gene, the whole mitochondrial DNA. We have a caller. I am concerned. Who do we have on the line today?
Yo.
Oh, hello, caller. How are you? And shout out to you, Eddie Kane. How are you today? It's a shame I know your voice after this many years.
You think Eddie Kane?
How can I help you today? Who am I talking to?
Talking to World around me.
Oh my goodness. Hi, World of Rama. Shout out to you. I definitely wasn't expecting that. How are you today?
I'm good. Like, I just saw that you know what I'm saying, went live on doing your show. So I always wanted to do your show. So I was like, let me call up because I've seen that number going by.
Oh, God, I appreciate your support. You have always been very, very supportive, and I definitely want to say I appreciate that. And I would love to have you in here in person one day. That would be great.
You gonna set that up? You know what I mean? Like, I'm down for all that.
I could definitely set that up. I mean, it's not like we wouldn't have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. That's all I care about. As long as we got stuff that we could talk about, fully, I'm happy to have. Definitely. But you're always busy. Say that again, please.
You said something very interesting about Chat GPT, about how they said that they would want to come back as a black person because they know who the superior beings are.
Yes. I mean, like I said, it was very, very articulate the way they said it, but it just was, I don't know, confirmation in a way for a lot, like that something would acknowledge our struggle and the things that we go through and still manage to be the awesome people that we are in spite of all of the obstacles put in our way, all of the stumbling blocks created for us. We still manage to be honestly, the purest, kindest hearted, the most forgiving, the most generous, we are those people. It's undeniable. And
I say this so much all the time. I say a lot of people they should be happy that we just want to be treated fairly and equally, and that we don't really.
Exactly. We're not trying to take over. We're not trying to give no comeuppances or no revenge. We're not seeking, to get the lick back. We don't want to be above you. We're not trying to dominate you. We just want to be left the freak alone and be allowed the same opportunities and peace and direction of life and the ability to be masters of our own self. That's all. That's all we ever have ever asked for.
Every time we seem to accomplish something like that, and we were able to live on our own without the helpings or the bamboozlement of the system, we seem to get our towns flooded and burned down.
Oh, yeah. So you suddenly find a lake where there wasn't one, or somebody just decides to hijack a bomber and drop a couple bombs, because and then there's never any there's never any rectification, any retribution, any kind of. It's just we just bow our heads and move on. It's not like
we march.
Yeah, listen, and then that's where we're at now. The level of fatigue that Black people are feeling is historical, because never before have we just said, you know what, fuck it, we just don't want to be bothered. We just are done with all of it. We don't want to be bothered. We're not protesting. We're not marching. We don't want to talk about it. We just line dancing at this point. Trying to figure out where our fans is at. That's
right. Speaking of that, what do you think about that father who ran down that police officer for shooting his son in the back?
okay. On one hand, we have everybody understands what it feels like to black out. Everybody at least if they've never blacked out before, they at least understand the concept of blacking out. And I believe after the incident, after him losing his child to the police, that he didn't see red, he saw blue. You understand what I'm saying? Like he just whatever police he saw, he was gonna catch it. I feel like I feel like, and I also feel like it can be considered a crime of passion or temporary insanity. So he definitely has an argument. You understand what I mean? Because they not only did they kill his son, they killed it. It was a big thing around them killing his son. They killed him for absolutely no reason. They brutally killed him. And then they just expect, as they've done so many times before, they just expect us to sit down and accept it. And everybody is not built like that. Everybody is not gonna.
You know what? I want to say this, right? And these comments that I'm saying on your show are from me, not, you know what I'm saying, not from the, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The Lola Shae opinion. This is the opinion of Worldorama. And I look at it like this. Since the beginning of time, when we were, our ancestors, I should say, were supposedly free, right? Freed, and then they put the police force together, which were all Ku Klux Klan members that were now organized as cops to go out and catch slaves who now didn't even have nowhere to go. You feel me? Like, if every time one of them wrongfully killed one of us, we went out and an eye for an eye, it wouldn't be that much killing amongst us.
I have to agree with you. Now, we have a good example of that where the KKK tried to go down in Atlanta and cause troubles and got shut up because they're under the impression that we're still afraid of them.
We ain't afraid of each other. And we run it down and spin it on each other. What the fuck makes these white people think that they just gonna go to a black neighborhood and do the fuck shit that they was doing that to our ancestors? Nah, motherfucker, it's not happening no more. You got guns too. What up, son, dude? Want to battle Cash and see you, son, too? You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't none of that happening no more, man. And it's messed up that our young soldiers are out here spinning and running down on each other when they should all just keep all of that patriotism towards our peoples against the enemy and not against each other.
Well,
that's how I feel.
I do
feel like that. One of these guys killed one of us wrongfully and nothing happened. I think something should be done about it.
I definitely agree with that. I would like to say that I do see a shift in the youth in their level of attention that they pay to politics and outside stuff. So they're shifting away from, just wanting to party and have fun all the time. And a lot of them are becoming more and more aware of the struggle, of the political issues. And I think that's necessary because it was historically and consistently has been the kids who have pushed the narrative forward. They like to say that it's the aristocrats, the wealthy people that make the changes, but it's actually consistently been the children from the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, the Civil Rights era. It's always been the children who have stood up and said, this is not right, and we're not gonna take it anymore. Which makes what Trump is doing to the protesters even more unconstitutional. Okay, because it is our constitutional right to dissent, to disagree, to argue, to complain, to air our grievances, and we are being systematically restricted from those abilities. And I started.
All right, now I got something to say about that too, right? Now, a lot of the people that are out there that are protesting, they have their country's flag with them.
That's
And
illegal.
some are actually not citizens here. Some of them are people that are here on green cards or visas or something like that. And some of them in the mix of it are illegal immigrants with their representing their Mexican flags and all these flags from different places. So how do you feel about that, knowing that these people aren't even repping America or even American citizens, but yet they're trying to protest using America's constitutional rights about stuff?
Well, first of all, I'm insulted. Let me just put that out there. I'm hella insulted that they jumped on they piggybacked off of all of the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears that we went through to get the little bit of rights that they enjoy today. That's first of all, because we don't necessarily enjoy the same rights that they enjoy, even though we fought for these rights, died for these rights, got bit by dogs, horses, and all that good shit, right? Okay, now, they are not legal American citizens, and therefore they are not subjected to the same rights and privileges as legal, legitimate American citizens. I cannot go to their country and demand rights, okay, from their government without going through the proper processes and becoming a citizen, or at least legal documentation which enables me to be in their country and work in their country and do whatever it is that I'm doing in their country. Now, I don't appreciate
out the borders instantly. If you went to some other countries and you tried to protest and create a ruckus
probably
about
whoop your ass
something
first
about
and
their
then
lives.
kick you out.
Like,
Okay, they're not going to accept that. They're not accepting that in any country, and I don't appreciate the fact that they trying to force it on us and then guilt trip and emotionally manipulate us into feeling bad about it. No, I don't feel bad. You imported millions and millions of people in, busloads worth of people, caravans full of people. You imported these people. You can deport them right back to where you got them from. Now, I don't appreciate them dropping them off in Africa when they're supposed to go back to Venezuela, when they're supposed to go back to somewhere in South America, and they taking them clear across the country and dropping them off. That's not necessary. Like there's levels to the dumb shit that they're doing, okay? And past a certain point, it's not necessary. But they're not going to emotionally manipulate me into feeling bad for people who aren't supposed to be here in the first place. I'm sorry. Okay, and then these same people will argue against our reparations, argue against us getting anything that we're supposed to get, say that we're lazy, say that we're these same people who want us to come now and put ourselves on the line, put our bodies in harm's way, because the first person they going after is us. They will completely bypass them to arrest us, and we saw this during their last little protest that the women had in April, I believe that was, okay, where they locked up them 3 black women. Thousands and thousands of white people running around. They found the only 3 black people in the crowd and locked them up. Okay, so no, and no again. Absolutely not. I don't appreciate it. I don't like it, and I don't like the emotion
you have about the ICE arresting people out there that weren't legal citizens. Like, what was your part? Because in the beginning of what we just started talking about, you said that it's our constitutional right to protest and do all that. But,
yeah, but
a lot of the people that protested, even the people that's protesting for Palestine and all of that, and these people got their flag, their Israel flag up and all of that. Like, what are you protesting here for? If you feel that way, then go over there. If your country is so much better, or your country is hurting, and you want to make sure that over here knows about what's going on over there and stops whatever was going on over there, then go over there.
Well, there's a certain safety in being here, okay, that definitely doesn't exist over there. And they are very, very much aware of that. And then there's the fact that 90% of the shit they're talking is completely just lip service. They're just talking because they got a tongue and a pair of lips. Okay, they have no intention on actually doing anything about it. They have no intention on dismantling the system that allows it to happen. They have absolutely no intention. They just want to appear to be doing something. They want to appear to be on the right side so that when the proverbial shit eventually hits the fan, they could say that, oh, I disagreed with it. You know, I wasn't going along with it. You saw me right there protesting. It's hollow. It's absolutely hollow. And again, they are manipulating your emotions, which they've gotten really good at that. But they're manipulating your emotions and trying to make you feel bad about a non-issue. Because like I said, they brought them in. They could just as easily take them out. Now, the level of brutality, I can't say I agree with that. I can't say I condone that. I can't say, and like I said about them not even taking them back to their original country. They're just dropping them off wherever, trying to make life as uncomfortable and difficult for them as possible. Now, on the other hand, I am well aware of the intention to import people that are hostile to Americans, in response to your comment about the flags. They intentionally imported people that are hostile to America, America's laws, and America's Constitution, intentionally planning to disrupt the government, disrupt to destabilize the country. That was the intention, okay? And millions of dollars was pumped into bringing these people here. We watched the caravans. We watched the buses come in. We heard the mayors and the governors, inviting these people to come to the different states. We had laws being enacted to create sanctuary cities for them so that they could come. New York is still a sanctuary city. I don't know, how much good that's going to do when ICE decides to act up, but it's still designated as a sanctuary city. You're supposed to be safe when you come here.
Now I'm hearing that they even deported people that citizenship.
Yeah, they're deporting citizens because ultimately that's what they want to be able to do. They want to be able to come up with an excuse to deport or confine you outside of the United States, like concentration camp type, work camp type stuff.
So it's about to be crazy out here. I ain't gonna front. People better make sure they got their passports up to date.
Yeah, well, there's a whole lot of countries that are not even accepting the United States passports, and they're denying visas for Americans. Luckily, African Americans are in a weird space because we didn't do nothing to nobody, so we can still get in places that have, particularly places in Africa who have banned Americans from coming there. We can still go. We have visa-free travel to a lot of African countries. So, if we decided to run, we actually could. And that's something that wasn't a thing before. So
this melanin in our skin is worth more than gold.
Yes, it is. Yes, it absolutely is. It's actually worth $300. Let's see, it's $30,000 an ounce, I believe it is, or something like that.
Right.
Now, when I found this out, my question then became how how do you quantify an ounce of melanin, and how would you get an ounce of melanin? But then I find out that they actually have procedures to remove the melanin from your skin.
Yeah, it's like these people be out here, Caribbean people be bleaching their skin.
Yeah, but that's a chemical fading. They are extracting melanin to be used like this is the and then this is the melanin right here, and I'm gonna take it over here and use it for stuff this and the third. So they are.
With the technology that they have out now, I'm sure they could probably take that melanin.
Child, they do all manner of unnecessary things nowadays. Seriously. Okay, so next up, real quick, we have oh yeah, have a baby by me, baby, and be a millionaire. So I have to talk about this because it all right now.
Queen.
Shout out to the queens. Oh, I got queens get the money right online right now. Shout out to queens getting the money. Okay. So 50 Cent's baby mama was outed as the Jane Doe in the Diddy trial, right? The testimony, the transcripts will burn the hair off your eyes. All right, like it's just that is too hot to handle, absolutely too hot to handle. And
yeah, you do something.
Huh?
You do some of it. Let's hear it.
Wow! I don't want to. I'm gonna get stripes. No stripes. I don't want no stripes. I can't read that on here.
What I'm saying, if it's a transcript, then it's already public knowledge.
I can paraphrase. She thinks she's the GOAT because she took 4 dudes in one night. She felt like Puffy was very impressed with her bedroom abilities. Her bedroom antics were very impressive to Puff Daddy. And what else can I think of? That's just, I need some rated G stuff here. I don't know. Her and the Punisher. Huh?
50 when they had a baby with her, huh?
But look, so this is what my thing was. So around the same time that 50 is running around yelling, have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire, got to check before the baby come. Who the fuck cares? Right? Right? Okay.
Get the money.
So I'm saying, like, so it fits perfectly. All right, so there should be no embarrassment. There should be no, you should, like, just, what's the Jane Doe? I mean, actually, I understand what the Jane Doe is for. The Jane Doe is for the little boy, all right, because he has absolutely nothing to do with anything. And this is so very, very unfair for him to have to go through this. And he is going to go through this for the rest of his days. They're going to abuse this boy behind this shit, okay? And there's really nothing that his father can do about it. It's nothing that nobody can do about it. It just is what it is. Because once they find out that that's his mama and she was what? And the scandalous nature of it, he's gonna catch hell. He's gonna catch hell in school behind this, all right? And it's that's something that people just don't seem to care about, the repercussions of their actions. Like, yes, you can do absolutely whatever you want to do in this world, but you have to be willing to accept the consequences for your actions. So you want to do weekend-long freak-off parties and OnlyFans and all of this stuff, you have to realize how that's going to affect the people that are close to you in your life, okay? And 50 knew what she was when he got with her. You understand what I mean? He knew what he was signing up for when he got with her. Okay? So now the argument comes was, did he pick her because she was with 50? Or did he just pick her because she's a very beautiful young lady? Because, you know, that's undeniable. Very beautiful young lady. But
so basically, how old is the kid?
The kid is like maybe 11. Maybe.
Okay, so how long ago did it say in these transcripts that she was speaking off?
consistently until he went to jail. Like this.
Oh, so she
stuff,
she been with him the whole time. She was with Diddy.
This stuff was, see, what happened was Diddy had a roster of females. Like, he didn't just use Cassie. He didn't just use Young Miami. He didn't just use, he had a roster of females he was paying. Now, you remember Miami saying she was getting $250,000 a month from Diddy. And we're like, what the fuck for? Now we know what for. You understand what I'm saying? So he had a roster of females, and DJ, I'm just gonna call her DJ. DJ was one of the many females that he had in his roster that he would call up for what I believe to be the honeypot operation.
Because.
So Glorilla won a gospel award at the BET Awards?
Word?
What?
How is that even possible?
I'm trying to understand what in the hell is going on in the world. I mean,
what in the hell? What the hell are you
cool. What the hell? Exactly. Because wait a minute now. I don't recall. I don't know what song she could possibly have put out that would be considered a gospel song. I mean, again, I've been wrong. So if y'all know that she got a gospel song, please let me know so I can go listen to this gospel song because
it's a song she did with Kirk Franklin.
Oh, okay. So, okay. See, thank you. Because, so Al says it's a song that she did with Kirk Franklin.
Oh, wow. Kirk Franklin did a song with her?
Ciao. I ain't even going to talk about Kirk Franklin. But okay. But people is pissed. I'm still, regardless of whether she legitimately did. I thought maybe she didn't have no legitimate gospels because I don't know. Again, I'm like, what? But okay. So she did a song with Kirk Franklin. But the people are still pissed. The people are very pissed off that Glorilla got a BET award for gospel. They saying out of all of the people you can give an award to, for gospel specifically, they gave it to Glorilla. So they're very, very upset about it. Glorilla is thrilled. I'm thrilled for Glorilla. All right, all of the awards. Personally, why, if you are a gospel artist, are you seeking accolades and awards in the first place? Isn't your glory coming from God, supposed to be? Isn't your blessings in heaven? Oh, but they want awards and stuff. They complaining about who got an award over them. That sounds like ego to me. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It sounds suspiciously like ego, but see, then they wonder again. This is the kind of behavior. Like over the week, I've been watching Chinese K-dramas and C-dramas, right? So Chinese movies about ancient China, and somebody from modern time travels back to ancient China or something like that. You know, all these crazy movies. I went from Nollywood to Dollywood to, like, I'm traveling the world with the movies, learning all of the different cultures and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So these people, I have my own opinions about these people, but they are very funny about titles and statuses and honor and dishonor and embarrassment and whatever, right? But at the same time, they're still jockeying for position. They're still trying to secure their position or their status in life. Like, they want to live comfortably. They don't want to work too hard. And all of the different maneuvers that they go through to get what they want. Right? All of the different movies. There's a lot of ancestor worship and belief in lucky stuff, like, this person has suffered from bad luck, and the bad luck is somehow contagious. So don't let that bitch over here because her bad luck is gonna rub off on us. And I don't know, it's just a bunch of weird superstitions, and it reminds me a lot of of us as of black people, of Americans. Like, we have our own superstitions, things that we believe. We have our
like what? Like hats on the bed, don't cross the pole, don't put your purse on the ground.
all that, all of that. Like right now, my purse is on the ground. So like, oh, yeah, get your purse off the ground. I like, listen, ain't no money in there anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You know, like, don't split the pole. Well, what about before the pole was got here? What about that? Like I don't believe in any of that stuff. I do believe that all of my blessings, my luck, good or bad, my good things, bad things, all my things come from the Creator. So that's my personal belief, but everybody doesn't believe that, right? Some people believe that if you're not important, if you're not of a certain level, of a certain status, then you mean nothing. And they feel that about other people. So they feel like if they are of a certain status, then the other people that aren't of that status are not anything. So for you to say that somebody doesn't deserve something is presumptuous. Who are you to say that the person does or does not deserve, right? Or is not worthy of certain things. But
that's like a lot of what that Palestinian shit is going on. They don't want the other people to be involved or you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of hatred going on. A lot of hatred.
They don't even believe that those people have the right to draw oxygen. Okay, it's so bad. But God is dealing with them people, and God will continue to deal with them people, because there's no way you're gonna treat people bad like that consistently and not get your comeuppances. It's no way. It's no damn way at all. It's inevitable that you're going to get your comeuppances, and that's what they're getting right now. That's why Iran is tearing that ass up, and they crying now, okay? Oh, they're bombing this and they're bombing that, and we're running and we're scared, and the children and this, but they didn't care none of that when they was doing it to somebody else. So,
right,
that is what it is with them. Let me see.
It's always good until it's not.
Yep. So the National Guard was called into Missouri. Shout out to Drunk out there in Missouri. National Guard was called into Missouri to deal with possible civil unrest coming from the protests, right? So now we got protests going on all over the world. All over the world, not just this country, but all over the world. But particularly in the country, we've been having a backlash to our wannabe dictator / president. And the people want to desperately let him know that we don't want any more kings, no monarchs, no dictators, no none of that shit. All right. So they've been having their no kings protests, their no kings marches. Of course, you got the Proud Boys who make it their business to stick their 2 cents in and get involved in everything, whether they want it there or not. They had to run them off of a couple of protests because they don't seem to realize that they are the bad guys. They think they really believe that, nobody wants to believe that they are horrible. All right. Everybody believes that they're a good person. And there are not many people who will sit there in your face and say, I'm a horrible individual. and I really don't deserve to be here. Like, there's not nobody who's going to say that.
Why they was masking the history of slavery. They were so embarrassed by what their ancestors did, they want to mask it and hide it.
Mm-hmm. And they still wearing masks today. They hide behind the legalities and laws that they have made up and signed, and the lobbyists
and judges.
And that's how they survive. That's how they keep their power. They infiltrate the organizations and the different levels of government, and they make sure they keep their people in there. I mean, we could learn a lot, honestly, from them if we set aside, a lot of the bullshit that they got going on. But the organization, the unity, the the determination is commendable. You have to admit, but they just going about it the wrong way. They have the wrong intentions. That's all I can say. But calling the National Guard on American citizens is diabolical. I don't care what nobody say. That should not be a thing. And technically you're not supposed to be able to take your you're not supposed to be able to take your anger out on the people, right? But we've been the scapegoats for everybody for at least the last 400 years. And some black people believe that
I said we've been public enemy number one from the beginning.
Yeah. But I think that they've decided to earn the distinction of public enemy number one. And that's what I think white people are afraid of. When we don't care anymore about what you say, how you feel, what you think. And we finally decide that it's us for us and the hell with everybody else. I think we're heading there. We're slowly but surely marching in that direction. Some would argue whether we got there or not. But I definitely
that kind of unity.
More evidence of
maybe Trump coming in office and doing what he's doing, finally gonna get us together as a people because we see what the freak is going on.
Yeah. I think this last, the whole, they like to say, I personally disagree with the idea that Kamala would have been a better pick. I believe they both is the same rotten, raggedy individuals. I don't feel like the Democrats or the Republicans would have made much of a difference. They both groups would have been passing laws that we don't appreciate. Both groups would have been trying to enrich themselves at the expense of us. And both groups would have been working towards keeping themselves entrenched in power for another few years. So, they aren't doing anything. Neither one of the parties are doing anything remotely resembling progress. They are just maintaining the status quo at this point. And that means none of them are worthy as far as I'm concerned. So, but the argument that, Kamala would have been a better pick and we somehow would have been in a better position if, she would have got in there, I just don't agree with that. I think she was one of the phoniest individuals we actually had to deal with in politics. And
I think she was
she would have
I don't even think she was qualified to be it.
Huh?
I don't think she was qualified to be a president.
No, I don't think she was qualified to do the job she was doing, which is why she was so horrible at it. She was horrible as a vice president. Absolutely horrible. And I don't give a damn. So the lesser of two evils philosophy gonna let y'all put this retarded ass heifer in there that don't know what she doing, which makes her prime candidate for puppethood. Okay? Prime candidate for puppethood. She would have just been a massive puppet for these people because she has no idea what the freak she's doing. All right. And they would have just had her dancing to they beat, however they wanted her to do. All right. And because she got in,
and the people crazy.
Basically, because she got in on her own, without having any being affiliated with any, except for the Deltas. She's a Delta. What? How does that translate to running a country? It does not. It absolutely does not. It just was.
Well, this is the last thing I want to say about Kamala, right? If she was so equipped and able to be the vice president of America and then later be the president, why when Obama was running, that he didn't have her as his running mate instead of bringing in Biden? You thought about that? Because she had the same qualifications when Obama was running. Remember, Obama did 2 terms. So why do you have Biden as your running mate for vice president and not Kamala if you stepped up to say all black people should vote for Kamala to be Biden's running mate out of nowhere? And then on top of that, Biden couldn't even finish the term. Honestly, I feel like the powers that be that are really in control, they just wanted to give Biden a shot to be a president in American history before he died. Because I don't think he even won that election with all of these millions of ballots that he found at the last hour of the fucking vote. I don't even think he really won that. I think Trump was absolutely right when he said it was a fix. Because Trump was way in the lead. And then the next morning I wake up and they say they found like millions of ballots, paper ballots. How?
Well, I don't know. Okay, so there was so much going on with the elections period. You got the ballot boxes picking who it wants to pick. You got the ballots getting thrown in corners, closets, and people's basements. You had people getting kicked off the registration rolls. You had people denied the ability to vote for frivolous reasons. You had people's votes, once they was voted, they votes got kicked out. You had so very much going on, but they've been manipulating. Like, I am so disenfranchised and so disillusioned with the whole voting process and the whole idea, because they lie. And we are well aware of the fact that the popular vote means absolutely nothing. They're going to go by the Electoral College anyway. So once you take that into consideration, does your vote really mean anything, or are they just trying to take the temperature and see where the people is at?
Yep, because if what we vote for is not really what gets the person in, then they just want to see who's really for that party and who they can sway. They want to know what side you want, what side of the fence you want. That's what this whole Democratic, Republican, conservative, they want to see what side of the bench you're on.
It's two sides of the same coin. It's the same people. They are the same people. They go to the same parties, the same schools, the events. The kids go to the same schools. Some of the kids even wind up marrying each other. They affiliate with each other. They hang out together. They vacation together. They drink together. They do every fucking thing together, and then they turn around and want to pretend that they are at each other's throats for the sake of some grand drama that nobody even is falling for. I'm like, oh my gosh. You know what, people? This is what happens when you get way too excited and have way too much fun. So I want to apologize. Oh my God, I want to apologize. I didn't even look at, I can't see the clock from here. I want to apologize. We went way over. We went way over, but I want to definitely thank you, World of Rama, for tuning in, calling in, chatting with me today. I was not expecting this at all. I really want to appreciate.
That's good when you have a good, deep conversation. You don't really lose track of the time. Before I go, I just want to let everybody know. Check me out in Lucy the Movie. You can go to lucythemovie.com to see me. I play character Black in Lucy the Movie. I'm also on the soundtrack. Everything Burns is out right now on all streaming platforms. You spell that LOOSEY, the movie. It's like a single city. You know, everybody.
Yeah, Lucy's. I remember when Lucy's was 10 cents.
Yeah, well, now I think a Lucy now is like $1 or
Lucy's $1
anywhere between
now.
75 cents to
I'm glad I
$1.
quit smoking. So yes, Lucy's is a damn dollar now. But yes, oh my God, I apologize you guys for taking this way, way over. Thank you for everybody who tuned in. Thank you for Worldorama for checking in. Thank you for guys for putting up with me today. Oh my goodness, I was not expecting this. But I no videos either, just running my mouth the whole hour and a half. Interesting. It's great having everybody. And I look forward to seeing you all next week.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Hey yo, Queens get the money, long time no cash. I'm caught up in a hustle where the guns go blast. Queens get the money, long time no cash. I'm caught up in a hustle where the guns go blast. Hey yo, Queens get the money, long time no cash. I'm caught up in a hustle where the guns go blast. A fool retaliated, so I had to think fast. Put out my heat first, he put out his heat last. Hey yo, Queens get the money, so we tuck the heat. Ain't nothing sweet, and other places think y'all running shit, then we'll buck your feet. Hot steps, take the right steps, muscle biceps, strong arm emoji, swinging swords like Shinobi. Can't no rapper hold me out the gate, can't control me, best beware with your gun. You can't get jacked, sound like Janet, y'all be wishing on a star, but be taking life for granted, standing 10 toes down to the ground, my feet is planted. Born in Brooklyn Women's Hospital, but Queens is where I landed. East Elmhurst first, then Flushing. I rushed in, Jamaica never fake the moves outside. Be outside, don't get yourself popped in Far Rock. School of hard knocks, that's Corona. We the owner, shit get sticky, get the blicky or the burn if it's your turn, and that'll learn ya. But only necessary, cause Queens we never worry. Hey yo, Queens get the money, long time no cash. I'm caught up in a hustle where the guns go blast. Queens get the money, long time no cash. I'm caught up in a hustle where the guns go blast. Hey yo, Queens get the money, long time no cash. I'm caught up in a hustle where the guns go blast. A fool retaliated, so I had to think fast. Put out my heat first, he put out his heat last. Queens get the money, slogan is inside of me. The best they gotta be. Rest in peace to that nigga Prodigy. I remember when you and your man shot at me over that robbery. Your chain was only 10 carats, but it was heavy jewelry. Foolery we went through when we was young. We was dumb, but in retrospect I sit back and reflect. It was fun. We would be at each other's house. You drink Henny, I drink rum. It was grimy hanging out in the 90s, packing guns. Memories of smoking weed in the basement of the dance school. Ironically, same block you would visit when they paroled you. You was ahead of your time with your rhyme. I ain't gon' hold you. It's sad that they do paint on your face at the mural. You was loyal to the hood that wasn't loyal back. You wrote that book, niggas was shook cause none of it was cap from Hempstead, but instead you rep Queens, and that's a fact. They should've took some of these lame rappers and sent your ass back. Hey yo, Queens get the money, long time no cash. I'm caught up in a hustle where the guns go blast. Queens get the money, long time no cash. I'm caught up in the hustle where the guns go blast. Hey yo, Queens get the money, long time no cash. I'm caught up in the hustle where the guns go blast. A fool retaliated, so I had to think fast. Put out my heat first, he put out his heat last.
Thanks for watching. Tune in next week for the Lola Shae Show.